There's a major Bryan Danielson update after AEW WrestleDream. MJF and Adam Cole return at WrestleDream. The Rock responds to those WrestleMania 41 reports. And AEW has tried to bring in a certain former WWE and WCW star. Hello and welcome to the Solo Sunday News here at WhatCulture Wrestling with myself, Andrew Pollard. I hope you're well. I hope you're good. I hope your weekend is going as well as it possibly can do. If things aren't going so well, I really do hope they turn around ASAP. Right, let's dive into wrestling chatter and let's dive into AEW WrestleDream from last night, where the main event saw Jon Moxley defeat Bryan Danielson to become the new AEW World Champion. Now, have we seen the end of the American Dragon as a full-time wrestler? Seemingly so. As mentioned, Moxley choked out Bryan Danielson last night to win the AEW World title. Not just that, post-match, there was Wheeler Yuta put the plastic bag on Bryan's head. Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli did a kind of Pillmanizer spot on Bryan's neck. So we've been told in the past few months, of course, that the end of Bryan Danielson's full-time wrestling career would happen once Bryan lost his next match. And on that front, Fightful Select has an update on the Bryan Danielson situation. Sean Ross Sapp over there at Fightful notes that Danielson specifically wanted Jon Moxley to be the one to bring an end to his full-time run. Danielson has legitimately been working without a talent contract for the past few months, and right now is very much a free agent. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be running off to WWE. Far from it, seemingly. The hope is from those within AEW that Bryan Danielson will continue to wrestle sporadically for the company, and that will pick up his other AEW duties when he's ready. Now, there's been reports over the last little while that Bryan Danielson does a little bit of creative stuff. Obviously, he's on the, what do they call it? The disciplinary committee as well. But first and foremost, it looks like Bryan Danielson really does need to go away and get some work done. He previously told Fightful and a couple of other interviews as well that he needs to get his neck fixed, and by all accounts that is very much legit, and that would suggest that he needs surgery. As for Bryan Danielson's AEW World title win back at All In the summer, that was this Fightful report notes that was planned to happen since earlier in the year, and Swerve Strickland was going to be the one to basically. It was always going to be that Danielson was going to beat Swerve, and it was Swerve himself that pushed to tap out to Danielson rather than any sort of, a pass out finish. If you're the fighting champion babyface, and you pass out, there's almost like that kind of honor in defeat there, where you didn't quit. You didn't say uncle. It was your body gave up on you. Your will was there. Your body broke down. That's the pass out finish. That's obviously the big famous one. As you go back to WrestleMania 13, Stone Cold Steve Austin against Bret Hart, that the pass out finish that makes you look like a total badass. Swerve apparently didn't want that. He pushed to tap out to Danielson. I guess some more respect there, because Bryan Danielson, man, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, we're in a generation, a time where hyperbole is rampant, where every match is the best match ever. Every decent episode of Dynamite or Raw or SmackDown or whatever is we're cooking. That's it. We're back. There's all that BS stuff that I have no interest in. But when you strip back that hyperbole, that grandstanding, that exaggeration, it is no lie to say that Bryan Danielson legitimately is one of the greatest wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of boots. Just want to say from myself and from all of us at WhatCulture Wrestling, just a massive thank you to Bryan Danielson for a hell of a career and just giving us so many amazing memories, so many amazing matches. It's a career that goes back 25 years, which is crazy. Obviously, there was the break in between where he was forced into retirement. Thankfully, managed to come back from that, which was just a massive achievement in itself. But you look at his work in Ring of Honor, in WWE, and AEW, various other independents, various other companies. Man, there's so much greatness from the American Dragon. So let us know in the comments your absolute favorite Bryan Danielson matches and moments, whether that was as Bryan Danielson, whether that was as Daniel Bryan. Because stuff like this, again, you don't need the oh, well, he's better than AEW, oh, he's better than WWE. You don't need any of that sort of discourse. It's just a case of let's appreciate a man who had a great career and had so many great matches, memories, moments in various companies. But yeah, if this is it for the full-time career of Bryan Danielson, man, it's been a hell of a run. And the good news is that if this is the end, it's not necessarily the end, because again, he has mentioned before about how he will continue to wrestle on a limited basis. So you'll get Danielson coming out for probably, I don't know, spitballing here, a couple of matches a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches a year, just special occasions. He is an attraction. Bryan Danielson did not need any titles. He did not need the AEW World title. Is it good for AEW to have Bryan Danielson on the record as holding your top prize? Absolutely. Would it have been good for somebody to beat him for that title and send him into full-time retirement? Yes. Not necessarily Jon Moxley. For me, Hangman Adam Page was right there, especially off the back of that war with Swerve Strickland. I thought you've got that. But anyway, regardless, Bryan Danielson, it's been a hell of a run, brother. Right, let's keep in focus with WrestleDream. MJF is back, and so too is Adam Cole, baby. There was no Shane McMahon like some people speculated. There was no Bobby Lashley like some people speculated. But there was the surprise returns of MJF and Adam Cole, baby. And this all came about after the Jack Perry and Katsuyori Shibata match, where after the match, Perry was about to attack Shibata, only for Daniel Garcia, yes, Danny Garcia, to make the save, which was followed then by MJF appearing. Jack Perry had hit Garcia with the title, the TNT title, that'd be. MJF started putting a beating on Daniel Garcia. Then Adam Cole's music hit. I've thoughts on this. I mean, Cole headed to the ring. MJF headed off into the crowd, so there was no physicality per se. Cole then shook hands with Garcia, kind of lifted him up, shook hands, a little bit of a fist bump. So Adam Cole is a babyface now. Okay. It's great. First and foremost, it's great to see MJF back, and even more so, given how long he's been out, it's great to see Adam Cole back. And Fightful Select notes that yes, Adam Cole is now fully cleared to return to the ring. So that is great news for Adam Cole, great news for AEW, great news for wrestling fans, because Adam Cole is a fantastic professional wrestler. Adam Cole is a hell of a promo. Adam Cole is just a great talent all around. But this is Adam Cole, Adam Cole was the devil who turned on MJF, who became MJF's best friend, who got his trust, earned his trust. MJF, despite being the scumbag and your scumbag, MJF never once betrayed Adam Cole. MJF was the perfect friend. Finally, he let his guard down. Finally, he stopped being a jackass. Only for Adam Cole to screw him. Then you had Double or Nothing, where MJF, he got a smidge of revenge by low blowing Adam Cole. That was MJF very much the babyface, Adam Cole very much the heel, because he'd done all these despicable things. He what's the word I'm looking for? He'd lured somebody into letting their guard down and then taken very much advantage of it. But now, for no reason, Adam Cole is the babyface in this situation. The guy who conned someone into thinking he was their friend, their best friend, into lowering their guard, into showing their real emotions, into making themselves vulnerable and open to the world. Of course, in a shoot sense, MJF is obviously, he's a phenomenal heel. You could say he's the best heel in the business. Dirty Dominic Mysterio would probably like to have a word right now, but MJF is amazing. Adam Cole can be a great babyface in the right situation. Again, Adam Cole's a great heel. And MJF obviously is a heel these days, storyline wise, after his attack on Garcia the other month. But from a storyline basis, there's zero reason to cheer Adam Cole right now, apart from the fact that, yeah, he's back. So you have that pop of like, oh my God, it's Adam Cole, baby. There's that music. Here he comes. This is great to see. But if you step back and you look at it from, he's not a babyface. I mean, yes, things can be explained away. I'm sure they'll try their best to explain away. You can't explain everything away. Sometimes it has to be just like, right, I understand what you're saying. I hear where you're coming from, your angle on this, but it makes no sense. And so to me, it's two heels. It's two heels. When they had the split ski, it was MJF was the babyface, Adam Cole was a heel. Now, just because MJF is a heel doesn't mean that Adam Cole naturally is a babyface because he's against him, because Adam Cole's done nothing to warrant being the babyface. He's anyway, we will see how this plays out on TV, because I need a whole lot of coffee to try and analyze that further. Right, switching gears and switching over to WWE and switching over to if you smell, yes, The Rock, and more specifically, The Rock, WrestleMania 41, and Dave Meltzer. That feels like a joke. The Rock, WrestleMania 41, and Dave Meltzer walked into a bar. Yeah, this week, of course, saw Dave Meltzer put out a report, because The Rock, he appeared at Bad Blood after the Roman and Cody versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu match. He did a little bit of not much. He kind of raised an eyebrow. He did a throat slice thing, and then he did a post-match promo on Instagram as he's walking back to his bus, where he just said a whole lot of nothing really, and then drank some tequila. Hey, I like a bit of tequila, so I'm not going to knock the great one for that. But yeah, Dave Meltzer reported this past week in the aftermath of that The Rock is not going to be available for WrestleMania 41. Obviously, Dave had the caveat of things might change, which is, I mean, today it's going to hammer down with rain, but there's a chance it might be sunny, so you kind of cover your bases. It's which, I mean, it's true. I mean, whatever the plan is right now for The Rock, whether that is to be at WrestleMania 41 or not, things can change. He might not be available right now for WrestleMania 41, but by the time of, February or whatever, March, then okay, maybe all of a sudden something happens, or it could be the other way around, where he is available right now, but something happens. But The Rock has responded to those Dave Meltzer reports. Somebody on Instagram basically replied to a Rock picture with a comment about, a question asking if those reports from Meltzer were true. The Rock responded with, "Don't believe any of that BS." Apart from he didn't say BS, he said the full word, which I cannot say because we will get demonetized. This isn't the first time The Rock has trashed Dave Meltzer, though. Earlier this year, before WrestleMania 40, there was another Meltzer report, which The Rock labeled as, I'm trying to think how I can phrase this one, a complete horse doo-doo. I feel like I'm going John Cena. JBL is, what was that? JBL is... I can't think what he called it. Was it Dookie? Anyway, the Rock said that it's complete horse was some other prior report from Dave Meltzer. And that was about the talent being upset with The Rock for basically the on-screen language you could get away with and certain things he could do. But yeah, supposedly that was all false. But yes, the Rock playing down those reports, which would suggest to me that he is at WrestleMania 41. I mean, I have no inside scoop on this, no inside baseball knowledge or whatever the kids say. But to me, it's like, if you've got The Rock coming out of bad blood for whatever that was, there is no way you don't have him at WrestleMania 41. There is no way there's nothing already in the works for WrestleMania 41, because otherwise, if you bring him back for bad blood, that's completely pointless. I mean, that return was not addressed this week on SmackDown or on Raw for that matter, but it wouldn't be addressed on Raw because the talents of all the SmackDown talents. But yeah, it's The Rock will be at WrestleMania 41 in some role. Even if he's not wrestling, he will be there in some role. Is it The Rock versus Roman Reigns? Is it The Rock versus Cody Rhodes? Is it The Rock versus Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes? We will have to wait to see. But it is getting towards that time where it's like the end of the year and you start weighing up like, realistically, the Royal Rumble's not all that far away. Yes, I know it's in February this year. I think it's like February the 1st or 2nd. I think it's the 1st. But it's not. Before you know it, we will be in Royal Rumble season. And then from there, you're on the road to WrestleMania, baby. So yeah, we'll have to see where this all goes. But a nice fun story to wrap things up here because, hey, man, I'm a big WCW mark. I mean, specifically, my era of WCW is those the early '90s, the Dangerous Alliance, the Surface Thing, the Vader, the Cactus Jack, the Ron Simmons, just ravishing Rick Rude, man, simply ravishing. We do have, I should probably throw this in there. It's a bit of a spoiler. We do have a video coming up soon of our favorite wrestler. We do a series called Chatty Heads. I think it's Chatty Heads and Faces. I think it's called, or whatever it's called. That rascal, where there's a bunch of us and we all talk about stuff with a certain topic. And a recent one we filmed was our favorite wrestling themes ever. I've just mentioned mine, so a little spoiler there. But yeah, he'll steal your girl, break her heart, and leave you a fool. Yeah, man, ravishing Rick Rude. Anyway, let's get on to this story, which has nothing to do with Rick Rude, but it does, and it doesn't have nothing to do with early 90s WCW, but it does have something to do with Chuck Palumbo. Yes, now last night's WrestleDream saw a surprise appearance from Rico Constantino. I did not have that in my on my bingo cards here in 2024. He was the mystery manager of MXM Collection, Mansoor and Mason Madden. I mean, the dude was looking absolutely great. I looked it up. Rico is 63 years of age, and it's like he's barely aged in 20 years. The dude looks amazing. I know he's had some health issues, but looking great. This is someone who's a two-time WWE Tag Team Champion. There was Charlie Haas, there was Rikishi as his partners, three-time OVW World Champion, who was... There was that OVW class of like your Brock Lesnar's, your Shelton Benjamins, your John Cena's, your Randy Orton's, your Batistas, and Rico was kind of like in and around that. And you're thinking when he gets onto the main roster, he's going to be a big deal. It didn't. I mean, he had a really nice run, but it wasn't exactly like, he's a big singles act. The stylist of Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo. Also an American Gladiators winner as well. Worked as a paramedic. Worked as a member of the SWAT team. I believe he was maybe a fireman as well at some point. The manager of 3 Minute Warning, of course. It's a dude who's done a lot with his life, had busted his ass, man. So it was great to see Rico on the 0 Hour pre-show at WrestleDream. But on a side note of that, slightly adjacent news, is that while Rico returned, the Fightful Select notes how AEW has also made previous overtures this year to bring in Chuck Palumbo. Now, there's no details on what role that would be, but again, that could be like a really fun one. As mentioned, Billy Gunn, Chuck Palumbo. Billy and Chuck, managed by Rico, the tag team back in the day. They had the fake out wedding as well. But away from the whole the gimmick side of things, they were just a really good tag team, man. They're a really good tag team. I dare say, as a working tag team, as two wrestlers, as wrestling talent, in-ring talent, I dare say they were better than the New Age Outlaws. I know that might get some heat in the comments. I just Road Dogg. Nah, great talker, awful worker. But yeah, so Chuck Palumbo, there's been reaches from AEW to bring me in. Chuck Palumbo, of course, a product of the WCW power plant back in the day. A 4-time WCW tag team champion with Sean O'Haire was one of those reigns. Surprisingly, 3 of those were with Sean Stasiak, but particularly Palumbo and O'Haire. Just a really good tag team, man. They were one of the highlights of later day WCW, and of course they'd move over to WWE as part of the WCW buyout. Then he'd end up managing, what was it? Yeah, teaming with Billy, managed by Rico. Won the tag team titles. Left in 2004, then came back 2006 for like a couple of years. Didn't really do much, but yeah, I believe these days Chuck Palumbo does a bunch of stuff with motorcycles. He did have a CrossFit gym at some point, but yeah, it's the sort of thing where it's like, Chuck Palumbo's coming in just for, even if it's like a one-off shot, that'd be cool for me. But we'll see if those previous overtures are followed up and we do see Chuck Palumbo in AEW. Just for a cup of coffee, because, hey man, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Right, this has been the Solo Sunday News from WhatCulture Wrestling. Myself, Andrew Pollard. Continue your YouTube journey here with this magical video that editor Ryan will do a fantastic job of putting up there. Cheers, Ryan. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you next Sunday.